Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Uh, Today I'll be playing another rapid game for you on chess.com, a game in 15, 10-second increment. I'll be talking you through my thought process during the game, so I hope that you can learn something from this. I'm about 2,000, 2,100 over the board. So, obviously, I'm not the strongest player out there, but, if you're a beginner or if you're an up-and-coming player, 1,800 or less, I'm sure there's some things that you can learn from looking at my thought process. All right, so let's get started. All right, so we've got the white pieces. Let's play e4. All right, and we have a French defense. All right, so we've got a few options here. We could play knight f3 and then knight c3, which is called the two knights defense. That's a little weird. It's trying to catch black, kind of unaware of what's going on. But we'll just stick to the main line today. So d4, just grabbing the center. And after d5, we'll play a Tarrasch variation. Knight d2, the idea is to allow my c-pawn to be able to move, right? If I play knight c3, it's blocked. So I want to be able to play c3 to reinforce my center. Now knight c6 is a little unusual for a French defense because you're blocking your c-pawn. This is called the Guimard variation, I believe. So we're just going to continue to develop. And knight f6 is the main line here. And after e5, we're going to close the center, try to keep black's French bishop on c8 bad, right? And now we're going to try to say that we have a space advantage, right? We have a space advantage. Black is just going to be cramped, hopefully. Now, idea for black is to play f6 soon. We're going to play bishop b5 and apply some pressure on this diagonal towards black's king. Okay, so f6. Now, options here, we can either take on f6 or we can take on c6, I believe. That looks like the only two reasonable moves. All right, so what to do? What to do? Now, I don't like giving up the bishop pair. After bishop takes and then b takes, black gets a half-open b file, and he can then play c5 at some point later and still be able to play c6 behind it. It's not a bad structure for black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take on f6. Now queen takes is a little bit surprising. I was expecting knight takes. So my pawn on d4 is technically under attack. Let's see, if I just castle, can he take it? Knight takes, queen takes. Any nasty traps there? Yeah, I guess he can do that. The other idea is to play e5. Now moves here for me would be c3, knight b3. And again, take it on c6, but I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I like knight b3 because it uncovers my queen with some pressure against d5, and it also uncovers my bishop with maybe a threat of bishop g5. So let's play knight b3. All right, bishop d6, preparing castling. Now, a question is, should I play bishop g5? Another idea is bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and then knight a5 when this pawn is awkward to defend. But again, I think he can even play knight b8, and I've lost my bishop pair. All right, let's just develop bishop g5. Alright, queen f7 gets the queen kind of out of harm's way. It's not easy for me to attack it again. He wants the castle next. I can't really stop him. I think I should just castle. Alright, he castles. Now let's see. Alright, I want to keep this bishop, so maybe I should play c3 here. The only question is, what about e5? Yeah, I guess he can play e5. I don't really want to allow that. So what about a move like queen e2? What about a move like queen e2? Queen e2 and then e5. I can take on c6. And then maybe I can take on e5. Okay. Let's play queen e2. Connect our rooks. You always want to connect our rooks. Now I've got a nice little lead in development here. And black's e6 pawn is a little weak. Again, if he can play e5 comfortably in the near future, that's probably going to be, okay for him, maybe even good. I'm going to try to prevent that as best I can. Right now, I've got my queen on the e5 square, my pawn, my knights. I also have this bishop which is eyeing his knights here. So there's a battle going on right now for this e5 square. All right, black is going into a bit of a longer think here. Now, I kind of, at some point, I do want to drop this bishop back to d3 and attack h7. But only after, I would have to play c3 first, because after bishop d3, there's knight b4. I don't want to lose that bishop. So I think my next move will either be c3 or maybe rook a to e1. One of those two moves seems reasonable. Also, I have this bishop h4 to g3 maneuver. If I can trade off, these dark square bishops, that's good for me. All right, queen h5 is interesting. Now this has a threat of rook takes f3, followed by queen takes g5. Now, queen h5, doesn't this just drop the e6 pawn? Also, there's a threat of rook takes f3, followed by queen takes h2. That's probably more important. That's the more important threat to be aware of. I don't believe this. Can he just let me take on e6? It seems super risky. Very provocative. All right, so what's the deal here? Queen takes e6 check. King h8. I need a good move there in that position. I need a good move in that position. I think I could just play h3. And what's going on here? Rook takes f3. Oh, he can still take on g5, though. This is actually quite annoying. Oh, queen takes here. Oh, I have h4. I'm gonna take here. And then I think I have h4 here. Also, what about g4? Also, there's 95. No, I can't do 95, but my bishop hangs. Queen h3, what's the problem? Queen takes, g takes, rook takes. Queen takes d5. Knight f6 is good. Knight f6 might be good no matter what I do. Alright, let's just defend against this rook takes f3 business, and then we'll worry about the next step. Very surprising that he was able to do this. Now, knight f6 is what I would expect. Knight f6, defend in d5, attacking the queen, letting this bishop get into the game. Knight e5, I don't really agree with, because it does drop d5. Fancy move, though. Very fancy. He is trying to checkmate me. Please don't checkmate me. Alright, so he does have to take, and now this is a check. This is a check. Am I getting checkmated? Alright, after rook takes f3, he's threatening queen g4, followed by rook h3, checkmate. So I would need maybe to move this rook. Let's see, what else is he thinking about here? Yeah, this is queen h5. What a move. Queen h5. What a move. Rook f5. I don't... Man, I'm not predicting his moves at all. Let's see, queen e4. See, the reason I wanted to play rook f5 if I were him is I want bishop f5 to attack my queen. But here, this is really interesting because he wants to take my bishop on b5. How can he do this? Can I play... Do I have to play queen c4? Queen c4, am I getting checkmated? Queen c4, am I getting checkmated? Rook takes f3. Oh, do I have d5 there? Oh, but then knight e5. I can't do that. So I would have to play rook e1, queen g4 check, king f1. I don't see the mate. I don't see the mate. Oh, I'm dumb. He has rook takes g5. Game over. Game over. Wow. Wow. 1800? Plays like this? Something's very suspicious about this game. Jeez. Holy cow. This is just Resign Town. This is Resign Town. Population me. Holy cow. Wow. Checkmate. Holy cow. Alright, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Oh, look at this. This is suspicious. Oh, actually, he made a mistake. He did make a mistake. Well, let's take a look at it. So the game started off with this Gumard variation, knight c6. And this is the main line. f6, it's not right. I think what I'm supposed to do, actually, is let him take on e5. Maybe knight b3, f takes, d takes, and then my idea is to put a knight on d4. So what I probably should have done is this. And then he can play a6, right? But then after this, actually, this doesn't look all that great for me, because he's going to be able to get c5 in. So how am I supposed to play here? Knight, after the move a6 here. Yeah, maybe not knight b3. Queen e2? Queen e2, f takes. Yeah, this looks wrong too. This looks wrong too. So what's going on here? What's the move here? Or is it what I did in the game? He takes f6. Let's take a look at the database. Yeah, e takes f6. And queen takes is actually the main line. Very strange. And I'm not supposed to play after knight b3. After knight b3, bishop d6, I'm not supposed to play bishop g5. I'm supposed to just castle. Right, because on f7, this queen was actually more useful for black than it was on f6. So I probably should have just castled. Computer is saying c4. I like it. Alright, but let's see. Queen f... I'm really curious about this queen h5 move. And then queen e2 was actually inaccurate. I should have played rook e1. And there's no way for him to take advantage of the undefended f2 pawn just yet. Yeah, after something like a6, bishop h4, the idea of bishop g3. Oh gosh. Queen e2, and look at this move. Queen e2. Nobody's played queen h5 before. Nobody in the database. Let's turn on the engine here. And queen h5 is the #1 choice. It's the only move that gives black an advantage here. This is very suspicious. This is very suspicious. Queen h5, it's not a human move. It's not a human move. Queen h5. Yeah, and queen takes e6 is a blunder. I should have played h4 right away, but there's no way I was going to find this. There's no way I was going to find this. Let's see, after h6, bishop d2, e5. Yeah, black is doing just very well because he's getting to play e5 in. Getting rid of his weakness. Plus, all his pieces are kind of poised to attack. Right? Oh boy. Yeah, queen e2 was not a good move. Not a good move at all. Something like rook e1 or maybe bishop h4. Yeah. I was waiting for him to kick me with h6, but I should have just played bishop h4, you know, as early as I could. That's the safest way to play the position. And did I have a chance after this at all? Yeah, and I said knight f6 was the human move here. What I was expecting. Yeah, knight d5. He played the best moves. He played the best moves at each. After queen h5, he played the best moves. Yeah, I'm just busted here. Totally busted. Knight takes. Computer's first choice. Rook f5. Again, the computer's first choice. I mean, this is really suspicious. I mean, I hate to like accuse anybody. That's not why I'm here. But like, it's just, this is crazy. I mean, black is much better, right? Look at all these moves that win. But I would argue rook f5 is not the most human move. Something like I would expect him to take on f3 or develop this bishop f5, bishop h3, or even just h6. Rook f5. Yeah, and then that's just mate in two. Yeah, I had no chance here. Wow, what a game! What a game! Really fell for this crushing attack of queen h5. No games found. Let's see. No games found in the Lee Chase database. So this is a novelty. Wow. And then every move after that was perfect for black. What was his one mistake? So the computer says he made one mistake. And that would have been queen f7. But that's the most common move. That's the most common move. If we actually look at the computer analysis, it's saying queen f7's the second best move. You should have played queen g6. Yeah, I have a feeling that queen f7 definitely there was no assistance for that move. Wow. Well, anyway, um, that's just how it is sometimes. Who knows if this was somebody using a computer or not. Um, Even if it was, I mean, I had the white pieces here. I still had I still kind of made my own like problems. Um, Queen h5, it's just there to be found. It's there to be found. Um, and I really hesitated to take this pawn, and I just can't take this. Very different story if I don't take this pawn. So what should I have done instead? Like, let's try to be instructive and learn from this. What should I do instead of taking this pawn? He's threatening this, followed by this, right? So, computer is saying h4, right? Which frankly, it's almost forced, right? Because if I play something like h3 to stop the mate on h2, he can still um, take on f3 and then take on g5, right? Winning two pieces for the rook. So yeah, I mean, I just had to play h4. Had to play h4 here, which is kind of sad, because this pawn is a weakness on h4, and I'm creating a weak square on g4 as well. And now, now black might be able to just play e5. Actually, no, I don't think he can do that. So I can take here. Yeah, but I mean, even just this, with the knight coming to either g4. Oops. The knight's going to come to either g4 or e4. This bishop will finish development, get the rook in the game, and then you'll push e5. I mean, black has a very clear plan, and I've got some problems over here on the king side. But again, at least I'm not getting checkmated, right? I'm not getting checkmated here, so I mean, this is something I had to go for, right? So queen h5, excellent move, excellent move. Looks like h4 is the only move. That's a hard pill to swallow. When you have queen takes e6 with check, right? It's with check, and then you figure you can defend against f3 afterwards. That's just not the case here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that game. Hope you enjoyed it more than I did. If you did enjoy the game, if you enjoyed the commentary, please consider subscribing to the channel and keep an eye out for my future videos. All right, take care.